recently got introduced to a new character in the Teal Mask DLC, Perrin.
Oh,
And I'd love for you just to talk to us about like
Waddy
your theories
Waddy.
around Perrin, about like who we suspect she
Yes.
might be linked to, and what the Pokemon potentially that she's looking for in the forest as well. So I think this like little, it was very small kind of section of the DLC, but I feel like it's going to have quite a big kind of impact on a lot of things that we'll be doing around and in and around the DLC when it does drop.
Yes, I mean, it's supposed that we are talking about that maybe Perrin is ascendant from Adaman. Adaman was the leader of the Diamond clan
Diamond
in
Clan,
Pokemon,
yeah.
yes, in Pokemon Lane Arceus. Also, she looks like him 100%. Maybe,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe is the descendant of Adaman, and we suppose that she's finding some kind of Pokemon to make some photos in the timeless woods that it's located in Kitakami. And well, we are talking about that maybe there, because it seems that it's a weird place that the people from Kitakami they don't go, and maybe she's searching for some type of Pokemon from Pokemon Lanes for Pokemon Lanes Arceus, but also we are talking about that maybe there will be the chance to catch some Pokemon there. Maybe there's some type like time distortion of some type of that happened with the time there, that you will be able to catch those Pokemon, and also to obtain certain items like the Pick Block to evolve Ursa into Ursaluna. But I mean, that's another stuff to add from this game to. I mean, finally, Pokemon what it's doing is adding other Pokemon games to catch in some places, because if you are going to get maybe this Ursaluna that is trying to find Perrin, but I think that is not trying to find this Ursaluna. It's trying to find a new form of Ursaluna, because there was leaked, and there was also mentions and rumors that maybe this will be the form that is looking for Perrin. Maybe it will be some type of solar eclipse or something like that, of lunar eclipse, blood moon form of Ursa
Yeah.
Luna. Yeah, but also it's quite rare, because this generation Ursa Luna has access to 3 attacks that has a high probability of chance that it's Night Slash, Stone Edge, and Shadow Claw. So maybe this Ursaluna will have the ability Sniper. But it's quite curious because
That'll be sick.
Ursaring has bulletproof. No, not bulletproof. Sorry, it's an ability that the critical hits doesn't land. So it's the opposite.
Oh yeah. That would be
Covet cloak. I don't know.
that would be crazy though, wouldn't it?
I
That would be
think what
absolutely
you
nuts.
touched on there about having a special like an area where like Pokemon from Pokemon Legends Arceus spawn, where there would be touching on what we were saying earlier about having the box art legendaries, some way to get them. It would be cool if they added a way to get the Pokemon from PLA, because as we mentioned earlier, it's not easy to get certain Pokemon from PLA. It is. We talk about Enamorus as one example. That one's a big pain in the bum to get, because it's right at the end of the game. So it would be cool if we had an area in the DLC somewhere that we could catch these PLA Pokemon, and that would obviously tie in quite well to this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and be able to evolve them as well, because I think that's one of the biggest drawbacks is, you've got to have the game to evolve them, it's like if you don't have the game, you need to know someone that has the game so they can trade you them pretty much. So yeah, having access to them. And again, speaking from like a competitive side of things, like to even the playing field for all of the players, that like they need to have access to these Pokemon if they're in the format. It was always the issue with why mythical Pokemon were never introduced to any format and will likely never be introduced to a VG format, because the way that it's looked at is mythical Pokemon are generally mystery gift Pokemon, So you can't cover bases because these mythical Pokemon aren't accessible in any generation, really. Very few and far between. That there are going to be players that don't have access to these Pokemon, and because of that, then they're not including them, or that's not, they're not inclusive of the rules. So it feels kind of like that same sort of situation if they aren't implementing these Pokemon to be caught in the games at some point. Then it does feel like, especially from a competitive side of things, that players are going to be at a disadvantage. So you would imagine, yeah, these woods might be the area where all of the Legends Arceus Pokemon appear. Although I personally think they're going to be in various different places around Kitakami, because I feel like we've seen the Hisui and Growlithe statues in the trailer already. And it just makes sense because, Johto is a Japanese location. Kitakami is a Japanese location. We know that in Pokemon Legends Arceus, the kind of the original people that traveled over to Hisui were from Johto. So a lot of these Pokemon, it could explain that this is where they originally came from. So there's a tie in there, I guess, that they could kind of use.
It's yeah. I think it makes a lot of sense. Like I said, it just depends on how much of stuff they want to tie in. Like I said, we've got all these nods to Unova with a lot of the characters that are in the Indigo Disc and a lot of the promotional material. So it just depends on how, I guess, hard they decide to go on, and whether they are actually nods as well. I know Pokemon likes to do it a lot, but how strong of a nod they will be.